Hello.
And we're back, y'all.
Hi.
Episode, I don't even know what episode it is, of the Untitled Africans podcast. I'm Brian.
I told you to stop counting. I'm Wangechi.
Okay, Sesame Street.
And we
got
got
my education. Fine.
we got a special guest today.
Give it up for Miss studio guest.
Essie Bijoux.
Okay, you said it right.
Oh,
Per a girl can read.
Yes, Miss Essie Bijoux.
She is,
Thank
you know, a queen.
Friend of the pod.
Miss Eloquence. Miss Grace herself, Miss Poise and Perfection, Miss I will read you and inspire you in the same sentence.
Come on.
And make you reevaluate your life, but want to do so much better for yourself at the same time.
This podcast would not be what it is if it wasn't for me.
Hey, say that.
Can we stop? Let's give, credit where credit is due.
Period.
Now we got to give credit where credit is due. There's ideas and then there's execution.
Right, but the idea came from, we're sitting at your kitchen.
Yeah, well, I think I just planted a seed and you guys watered it and look how it's like blooming.
And she humble.
You know, look at her.
Well, we're so grateful to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. We know you're a longtime listener.
Yes. This is so weird being on the other side. I didn't know how much went into this, so I want to give y'all kudos before we begin because
yeah, girl,
this is work. Okay,
experience the struggle with us.
This is exactly. This is another job. So you guys, please share, listen, subscribe, leave a comment on the Apple.
We love a shameless plug.
Like, please, honey, like we have to support icons.
And listen, and any technical interns, like you heard her, this is a job. We will give you college credit if you want to come on.
Look,
help us figure this shit out.
Facts. Yeah, I think if you're in college, why not? Like, what are you doing on Sunday? I mean, absolutely nothing. So,
period.
Well, with all that said, let's check in. How was your week's been, y'all?
Mine's been good. I always never remember what I did. Like,
it just.
I had a slumber party. It was like a cute planned slumber party with my friends, which was fun. Like, we went to the movies. We bought snacks.
Can we talk about this? Whatever happened to the slumber party? I feel like we hit an age and we all just stopped.
I'm really confused. Like, you still do slumber party?
Like, y'all had cute pajamas and everything?
Yes, well, they did. I just had the shirt and shorts because I'm not used to the slumber party life.
No, our parents never let us go to slumber parties.
Also, none of us can afford a place to have a slumber party. This is one of the few friends with an actual apartment still in this economy. Not living with her parents.
Hey,
like many of us
in Atlanta. Yeah.
Shout out to her. It was fun. It was cute.
Yes, very much. What about you?
Girl, when life hits you like a pile of motherfucking brick. It all comes at once.
Oh.
It was just like trauma after trauma after. I was like, oh my God. I literally had a panic attack in the middle of the week.
Oh my God.
So first it was like, so remember how I signed up for a Peach Pass?
Yes.
To take the extra flight? Girl, tell me why these hoes sent me a fucking bill of toll violations for $600? Yes!
Wow!
I was looking at that. I was like, I was looking at it. It was looking at me. It was like that Diddy meme. I was like, bitch, who's gonna pay you? You gonna pay me? Like,
wait, how does it rack up to $600?
Girl, that's why I called Georgia Toll and I was like, okay, I need y'all to break this down for me. How the fuck did this get to here? And they were like, they were like, well, these are actually from last year. I said, hey, Jesus. Y'all bringing 2021 mess into 2022 when I'm finishing my year. They were like, yeah, it's accumulated because they were like, well, you never paid them. You never paid their toll violation. So there's late fees, administration fees. That's racked up. Do you know how much the original? I asked them. So what was the original toll violation total? They go, it was $182. I said, oh, I could have paid that. So I was like, where's the $400 that y'all get? They're like, those are all admin fees.
Oh nah, they're bugging.
I was like, I was bargaining. I was on the phone bargaining.
Trying to negotiate.
I said, listen, I will pay you the $182 right now. What do I gotta do? So that happened.
Did they let you?
No. They were like, you gotta pay in full, sir.
Dang, that's crazy.
And they're like, oh yeah, BT Dub, it's not even in our system anymore. You gotta go talk to collections.
Oh, not they sent you to collections?
Yep, from 2021, of course. They ain't got paid in over almost a year. Of course, they're gonna send your shit to collections.
Like a 200% surcharge. What?
Right?
So you have to pay that in order to use the Peach Pass? Is that
no?
now?
I have to pay it. I still have a Peach Pass. Meanwhile,
it's still racking up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, because I have an automation so it like takes out like a certain amount to pay for whatever anytime I use it.
Yeah.
So then.
But the violations don't get drafted.
No, the violations. That's the shit that pissed me off. That's the violation is not connected to the actual.
So it went. Yeah.
So it doesn't. I was like, y'all fucked up. This is messed up.
Did they mail it to you or something?
Yes. I was like, I never got this. They were like, well, we sent it to
none of my business.
Give me my money.
I was like, I might need to call fucking a lawyer.
Yeah.
Where's Ken Nugent? Sorry, this ain't making no sense.
The method. Okay.
And then I missed my court date for my speeding ticket.
Dang.
Then I had to call a lawyer to figure out what I gotta do. They were like, well, what usually happens is they'll put out a
warrant.
Yes.
What?
There's a bench warrant that they put out if you miss. If it's called a failure to appear, and then there's a bench warrant that's put out on you. And then if you get pulled over for like a cop, they'll pull up to you and be like, "Oh, you going to jail?" Like, and then you have to actually spend time. 100%. You can't just pay it off.
Oh, yeah. Nah.
And on top of your original speeding ticket, they add on like another $200. So I've just been going through y'all. It's been a week.
This is all alleged, by the way.
Yes, allegedly.
Police officers. This is all
alleged.
No, I showed it to our court date.
Fine,
so it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's been my week. That's been my week in a whole.
Oh my god.
So when life hits you, it hits you like a pile of fucking bricks. It's crazy.
I agree.
But it's okay because I got a lawyer and I'm gonna fight these charges.
Period.
They ain't gonna lock me up.
Exactly.
So don't make me get my lawyer on you, hoes.
Her name Juanita. I'll put her number down below if y'all need her. She's really cool.
Yeah, how you find a lawyer?
Come on, Juanita.
Bruh, when you threaten with fucking going to jail, you find a lawyer. Okay, figure that shit out. Either way, how was your week?
Oh, honey, I don't even know. I have mommy brain, so when you ask me to recap something from the past, it's like
I can only give you the last 2 seconds.
Literally the past 2 hours is all I could do. I don't know. I think it was good. I think this week we were coming back from Jersey. Was it this week? I don't even know.
No, that was last week.
See,
but how was your time in Jersey?
My time in Jersey was good. It was like, it's good, but when you travel, that's the first time we traveled with my baby.
Oh, baby's first trip.
Baby's first flight. Baby's first everything, Did y'all
knock her out before y'all went?
Right. A little sleeping powder.
Because I know me, and when I fly, I hate being the person. Like,
oh, I bet. I used to be that person.
I'm the person like, who the fuck brings a child on a
like,
flight?
why the fuck is there a baby here?
But she behaved, though.
She did well. She did better than me and Obi because coming back, we had United. We got a problem. So coming back, we had a 7-hour delay, unbeknownst to us. Like as soon as we got to the airport, like 20 minutes after we checked our bags in. We checked our bags in. We got a notification. Your flight has been delayed by 3 hours. And I'm like,
are you kidding?
Damn.
And then after it said, so our flight was supposed to be at 8, ended up leaving at 11:53. And then I think at like 10 o'clock, they pushed it to midnight. Then at 11, they pushed it to 1:30. Then I think it was at 1:30, they pushed it to 2:30.
At this point, I'm going to Delta and booking a new ticket.
Honey, no, listen. This is Newark Airport. So everyone, apparently there was like delays. There was, weather issues. So everyone ran to the customer service. But that thing was so packed, like you could not speak to an agent. It was the entire airport literally was at these desks because there were so many cancellations. So we had to keep a baby for like 8 hours occupied. My baby does not sleep easily. So it was just like,
bruh.
But you know what? She did well. She did so well.
Shout out to Mara.
Shout out to baby Mara because
could not have been.
And then I was like, listen, it's monkeypox. So we sitting here on these being in an airport during COVID
is one thing.
But and then with monkeypox and you're sitting on everything and it's just like prolonged exposure.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing I was so over it. So we got home at 6 a.m. after being at the airport at 6:30 p.m.
And, and what time were you supposed to get home? Like
10.
The day before.
Yeah.
damn.
Oh,
I would have
nah.
listen, if it was me, I would have as soon as I got in my house, closed my door, shut the blinds, don't nobody talk to me. I don't want to see y'all.
That was weird.
Leave me alone for the next 2 days.
I would have had an actual breakdown. Be like, you know what? Life isn't even worth this.
No, you did that in after QS.
Look. No, we had bed bugs.
Oh, child, what?
Y'all had bed bugs. Clarify that. Y'all had bed bugs.
You know how hard it is to get rid of bed bugs?
You know, I slept on my yoga mat and didn't enter my room for like however long until I emptied and cleaned everything out. But is that why you called me at like that night? I felt like that you were supposed to leave, right?
Yeah, I did. I think I did call you.
You were like chilling at the
I even called my mom. Like, I was just like, who do I call?
Bruh. Wait. Who can I bother?
I was like, oh my God, Mom, what do I do? I have a child at the airport.
So sorry.
I called for advice.
Yeah, I was like, so what do you do in these situations? But my mom was like, it should be fine. And she was fine. It was just us. I was just over it. You know, after being at an airport, I hate being in airports. I don't like traveling. I don't know who likes being on flights, but I'm not one of those people.
Even Mexico was too much to me. I was like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was 2-3 hours and I still was like, I'm jittery.
Yeah, I'm not with it.
Yeah, I was like, I just want to go to sleep and then I want to wake up and be there.
Thank you. I want to telepathically, like, just appear somewhere.
I was jealous of like the Jetsons because they have those tubes. And that actually looked like fun.
Honey, we getting there, Elon Musk, right?
They said the Jetsons, one of the kids or somebody was born in 2022.
The dad was born in 2022.
We are nowhere near what they were giving on that show.
Was like what, 40 something, 30s,
yeah,
late 40s, early 30s or something.
So it was probably like around 2050, and it's not giving flying cars here.
No, it's not giving that, girl.
In the foreseeable future.
Not whatsoever.
Yeah, it's also, I want to know what happened to Elon Musk Underground Railroad that he was supposed to create.
Elon got the
did he want to make like a bullet train type of
like
thing?
yeah, and it just mysteriously disappeared. So we need
allegedly it was all fake because he was trying to get more people to actually drive electric cars instead of taking the train.
Really?
Yeah, he did it so that the LA County wouldn't do it. He was like, "Oh, I'll do it privately," so that, and then say it's for the city, but then
because I was allegedly. I think I remember reading that because I was in LA at that time, and I remember LA County barred him from doing it or something.
Oh wow.
Well, anyway, listen. All I'm saying is, don't fly United. Okay,
oh yeah, never that.
Don't fly United, and if you're traveling with a baby, just get a private jet.
Period. That's next, honestly.
Like obviously. Yeah.
That's really next on life. Yeah. But let's go ahead and get into my favorite segments of the week. What's kicking the girls? First off, so since you are a mother, let me ask you this. When Amara does get into school, are you gonna force her to do her homework if she has it?
I mean, I would want her to do her assignments. I think it's good to establish some routine.
Well, apparently some mothers are saying our kids are quiet quitting homework as well.
What is quiet quitting homework?
Listen,
I'm tired of these terms.
Just how Gen Z and millennials are like, I'm going to work, I'm going to clock in, clock out, do my job. I ain't going home. I ain't taking nothing home. Moms are saying, yeah, my baby's been at school for 8 hours.
That's it.
If you can't teach what they need to learn in that time frame, then
I see.
But I feel like that was kind of one of the pros of working was like when you're in there, at least with my jobs, once I was there. Once I was out, I was out. I was not bringing that home, especially my lowly positions. But that was so different from school because we never had that option to just be done once you go home.
But that's the thing, because even like a lot of teachers are just like, curriculum is already too much. There's some teachers who are like, I don't give homework. I'm sorry. Even in college, sometimes you have certain teachers who are just like,
that's true.
I'm not going to give you. You're here. You're an adult. Here, do it. Don't do it. That's up to you. Focus on whatever. But I'm like, I'm here for it. I would definitely be a parent and be like, listen, I'm not learning this new math, y'all. What the math I grew up knowing is what you finna learn.
Right.
And if we can't get on there,
it's not aligned.
It's not happening. If your teacher can't teach you the new math in that time frame, baby.
I feel like this is parents rebelling after the pandemic where they have to be
they have to teach
their kids, and now they're like, no. If my kids need to learn something, you teach them. I am done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. I think the thing with homework, and I think the thing with the whole school system, education system. It's structured in a way that you teach students what to do now because they're going to follow this structure through college, through whatever. And now I feel like all of these systems are like basically being destroyed because college 10 years from now is not going to look the same as when I went to college 10 years ago. Like nothing is going to be the same. So I think they just have to remodel their system. But the education system is always the last to transform. It's always going to be like 10, 20 years behind. So I think like when parents do that, I get what they're doing because first of all, the bandwidth for a child to sit and listen for 8 hours and then go home and do more of the same
for like 3 hours. They ain't got it.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
This generation, especially the way they just move on. I'll be having a conversation with my sister. 2 seconds later, what did you say? I'm sitting there. Did you not hear any? It's like, oh, sorry. I moved on.
Right.
I moved on. So no, if I ever become a parent, I'm not teaching homework. I'm be like, listen, Miss Teacher lady, you gonna have to zoom in with this child because I can't. This ain't for me.
Wait, side note, because you saying if I become a parent, which is so funny because
this is why I said if.
Look, was it last week we were talking about the dude who? So there was a gay dude who slept with a woman just to see what it's like, right?
For the experience.
So somebody else apparently did that. And she got pregnant, and now he's a father.
That's what happens when, you know what I'm saying?
Like, I was like, sir, you had it guaranteed. You were safe. You were safe.
You want to be out here trying things.
Right.
Doing different things. Look at you.
I mean, are they keeping the baby?
The baby is born.
He's a father. He's a father.
Look.
I mean, listen.
That's them seeds said, we got one chance. We got to take this opportunity.
That's why I said if. If I ever be my father.
I mean, they did save some money though. If he did want to be a parent in the future, because if you want to go through the lab route, the clinic route, that has its pros and cons.
That's true.
Yeah, and also, and there's also a lot of like stories of people not getting the baby that they thought they were getting, embryos
not matching with what.
Yeah, and there's a clinic that was like notorious. They got sued by so many people because they had so many mix-ups. They gave the wrong child to so many people because they implanted the wrong.
Oh my god! Imagine being a white lesbian couple and your baby comes out fucking mixed.
That's how they find out. That's how they find
what's going on. But wait, what about the ones who got it mixed up? But it's like white people with white people, so they don't know.
Exactly. There's so many of those.
Yo.
At that point, you do a DNA. But I want to fight. Like the girl has like 4C curly.
Those are the people.
But the mom and dad are giving very much silky straight.
Look, the people are gonna be on TikTok like. Got ancestry.com. Find out my parents are my parents.
Yes. Or like the Netflix. Have you seen the Netflix show of this doctor he
inseminated in her whole entire town?
Bruh.
That man was crazy.
But because he was white and all these women were white, it went unnoticed.
It wasn't until everybody started
going on.
I feel like this is an episode of like Law and Order SVU.
Was it? I've never.
Oh, the one with John Stamos.
Yeah.
Nah, that's current day Nick Cannon.
All right, we're moving on from this topic anyway. So Serena Williams has unfortunately said goodbye to tennis.
The queen herself.
And her last match was at the U.S. Open this past weekend. It was actually really emotional. Everybody showed up to that thing.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know she's
done. She's retiring. We talked about this like a couple of weeks ago on an episode, but I was genuinely like, Serena, what you mean you leaving? But in her press conference, she was like, well, with COVID and everything, I wasn't going to the gym for like a whole year, so I like saw what my life would be like if I wasn't always working.
She could focus on her daughter.
Yeah, and like then she was like, I got injured, and then I was off for another year. So
I see.
I think in that time frame, she kind of built up to like, well, shit,
this would be the natural progression.
Yeah, so I might as well just retire now.
Yeah,
but it was so emotional when she her last match and then she lost her last match. That's the other thing that got me. I was like, damn.
Well, that was expected. People didn't even expect her to get to this point because the last one that she won, people were shocked. People were expecting the last match to be the last because they were like, in no way she's beating the number 2 U.S. player in the world, somebody who's literally 20 years younger than her, and she beat her. So people are like, come on, Serena, do what you do best.
Why y'all keep underestimating this woman? She every time and time, her and her sister Venus, time and time again, they have proven they are in fact those girls. So why y'all underestimate her? But once she got off the field or whatever, they were interviewing her, and she was like, I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for Venus.
I saw that.
And then they started like rolling clips of them like playing together. I was like, now I'm fucking emotional. If I wasn't emotional already, now I'm emotional now. I'm just like, damn.
Now, Serena is that girl, and she doesn't get enough credit as an athlete. Like, this is, people always talk about like Kobe, LeBron, but they don't talk about Serena in the same conversation. They always have to compartmentalize her into tennis. And it's like, honey, Serena is a number 1 athlete. No one has the range she has.
Yes.
No one has the run she has.
She is like top 5 like athletes in the world.
To me, she's number 1. Like, I don't see anyone
of all time.
I don't see anyone doing what she's doing.
Nah, big ups,
at the level she's doing, because also a lot of the times we talk about people within teams.
Talk about it.
She's doing this solo. That's the thing. Okay, see,
it's like, yes, you are like Brady. You are the GOAT in your respective field, but I don't think people like. It's not a fair equivalence because this is a woman doing it by herself. Like, you have to carry it by yourself. You don't get to, if you're having a bad day, you don't get to just, ride the coattails of your teammates. You always put in yourself. Exactly. You always have
to be on. And if it's a bad day, it's a bad day, and it's gonna show.
Exactly.
And that's too bad because you still gotta rely on yourself. I saw this one picture that showed like Serena Williams taking pictures with like her Wimbledon trophies with the male counterpart. Decades difference. All these different men coming in and coming out of the tennis game, and there is still Serena. Still the one there. Somebody said out of her like 850 plus games that she's played, she's lost like 158.
Damn.
To have played like 1,000 games and not even lost 200 of them, is crazy.
Serena's stats, like we're fucking talking.
That's what I'm saying.
Men love to Kobe. I'm like shots. I'm like, okay, well, Serena.
No, you know what? That's what I'm going to do after this, because that's my background in stats. So I really want to see of all the games she's played, like how does she really compare statistically to other players, and also just because there is ways to make comparisons with like team sports. So I just want to see how she holds up.
Has she ever gone against Venus in a match?
Yeah.
Why am I just like?
Yeah, they have. I mean, she usually typically has done better than her.
They said
as she's gotten older.
With Serena being out, they said the now the number 1 female who's won the most Wimbledon trophies is now Venus. I was like, Williams sisters are just it.
Their dad Richard really knew what he was doing. That man said,
I watched that.
You did?
I watched it.
I was trying to get you to watch it, and you still haven't seen it. It's on HBO. You have it. Just watch it. Just put it on.
There's so many things I've told her to watch, and she still hasn't yet. She's sitting on it, but she'll get to it eventually.
So you watched King Richard? What are your thoughts?
I did, and to me, the only thing I kept thinking was, if I was Serena, or like if I had the talent of a player like that, would my Kenyan parents push me to those levels? Okay. If it was like a latent, if it was something that I actually had, and I think that's one thing that I'm learning as a parent is you don't understand the value of exposure to different things. And that's something that when you're underprivileged or a marginalized community, you don't have access to certain things. But just watching him advocate for her so hard, like it takes a special type of parent. And you have to see the vision, like you have to see the end goal. And sometimes, like if you're working doubles as a nurse, you don't have the bandwidth.
No.
Like you're trying to put food on the table. So I always think about how many kids are sitting on like crazy talent and they're never able to
utilize,
make that
and that was the
a
crazy
reality
thing about their dad is like that man had no other job but training these kids.
That's you have to travel. You have to do so much.
Was their coach, their chauffeur, their cheerleader. I mean, their mom was always there, like as an assistant coach, always there next to him. But like this man did nothing else but like focus on those two girls. I'm like,
it's a full.
Imagine if like any parent just did that for their their child ever if they saw like potential for their kid. Like, oh, like that's.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a privilege, but also I think it just goes to if you do anything over time, it compounds and you get really good. Anything.
Yeah, because I think even if you didn't have that in you, because Serena wasn't the one killing it initially, it was Venus. Mm-hmm. But if you have somebody who's willing to dedicate that time into you,
it compounds. And I mean, I'm reading a book called Relentless by Tim Grover, and he coached Kobe and Michael Jordan, even though he's not like a typical coach. Mm-hmm. And I think his background was in like physical therapy or something just so unrelated to sports, but like he knew something about like he's training the mind. And it's like he talks about marginal gains, which is basically you just want to have a marginal gain, and over time that marginal gain compounds and you'll see the difference. Like that's how Kobe became who he was, because he would notice like the smallest things in the court. Like when they go practice, he noticed like I guess the basketball rim was off by like I don't even know, a quarter of an inch. And he kept saying, he told the maintenance guy, he was like, yo, something is off. And the guy was like, no, it's set up right. He kept doing it. He was like, nope, something's off. So he made him come back and he realized it was off by a quarter inch. He knew it. But that's because he became so good. Like you have to master a craft. And that's what I think Serena did. She mastered her craft. And honey, shout out to her. Serena, we're going to miss you.
Greatest of all time.
Absolutely. And
Icon.
Girl, if you want to come on the podcast, we'd love to have you.
Period.
I'm putting this out there. I'm manifesting. Serena will be on the Untitled Africans podcast.
Period.
I'm here for it.
But no, the guest list was intense. There was a lot of people who were there. I saw Dionne Warwick.
Oh.
I was like, Dionne, what the hell? And then this is what made me mad. The newscasters.
Oh, that's how I saw that.
Mislabeled. They were like, oh my God. And Gladys Knight. I said, that is Dionne Warwick.
Bruh. Yeah, like Gladys Knight. I think Gladys Knight was there, but literally,
no, she was. They said that she was there,
but the camera was not
definitely on Dionne Warwick.
Like as an announcer, girl, you don't just hear somebody's there and you just see, black person. I know this black person is. Let me say that this is no. You need to look up, girl. Google images.
No. Let's say this because I literally saw a TikTok about this, and this woman said, she was in a room. There was only 2 black people there, and this woman came up to her, resumed conversation as if they were already talking. And she was like, "Have we met?" And she was like, "We were just talking." And she was like, "No, I think you were talking to her over there." And they look completely different, not even the same complexion. And she said, the thing is with, I won't say all white people, but certain white people, the only thing they'll remember about you is that you're
your
black.
Skin tone.
Is that you're black.
Literally,
what was it? I think on the show First Ladies, I think there was like a clip where they were at some fundraiser or whatever, and this random white woman came up to another random black woman and was like, "Oh my God, Michelle, I love you. Da, da, da. I love your husband and all that you guys are doing. We just love it. We're so excited." And then literally the woman goes, "Michelle, have you met so-and-so?" And the white woman literally goes, "Well, thank you so much for having us. I'll talk to you later."
No, this literally happened at the HBCU game event I was at. This white woman is talking to like one of the cricket hosts, and he brings his black friend, his tall black friend. And so, the cricket host is in like introducing him to her. And she's like, "Oh yeah, we met yesterday." No. And the host dude is like, "That wasn't him." And she's like, "Really? It wasn't?" He's like, "No, they don't look alike." And she's like, "Oh, well, they're both tall."
She was trying to find every other thing.
Even the host was like, "They don't look alike." And she's like, "They both have glasses," like trying to find things.
She was definitely in sensitivity and diversity training that next month. That man said, cricket, we need to
it's a wrap.
She's done. But I love how Dionne Warwick is my favorite like older black woman on social media. Yes. Because she went along with it, and then she posted a Throwback Thursday picture of Gladys Knight.
Oh my God.
Dionne Warwick, for me, is hands down the
most entertaining.
Yes. Even on Twitter, this woman eats every single time.
I bet.
But it was a sad weekend, but we love Serena and Dionne. Moving on. More What's Playing the Girls. Aries Spears.
Why are we talking about this man again?
And Tiffany Haddish are in some hot water. Child, these people, okay. So it's a trigger warning.
Very much.
Trigger warning. We will be discussing, victims and sexual assault or whatever.
Sexual assault, pedophilia.
So please fast forward if, that makes you comfortable. Yeah. So there was a New York Post or some article came out about
Daily Beast.
Yeah, Daily Beast. It was about Tiffany and Aries, about how they sexually assaulted this girl and her brother when they were 15 and 14, I believe.
The boy was 7, she was 14.
And they recorded it and it was on video. And apparently it had been posted to Funny or Die, but Funny or Die, even they were like, yo, this is really fucked up. We're not allowing this. And they even took it down. But now they're being taken to court. And all the details of this is coming out. I'm just like...
Well, they have been taken to court.
Oh, so
they already did this. So the mom already sued them. But now the girl is old enough, because now she's 22. She's old enough to file herself and for her little brother under another lawsuit against them. Yo, the article, when they see these kids are traumatized, this boy is like, I don't like computers. I don't like people. I just want to go in my room. And I always feel watched. Because imagine you're doing these sexual acts, pretty much. It is at 7 years old with a camera, and then these grown adults are yelling at you for not doing it right.
And was it that the apparently Tiffany handed the mom $100 or something?
It's not even that. It's
after Tiffany, it happened. I was like,
Tiffany and the mom were close friends too. That is why
she was doing comedy and stuff.
Yeah, they were both going through a divorce. They got really close to each other. So Tiffany was always around the kids. The kids trusted Tiffany. They loved Auntie Tiffany. Oh. So when Auntie Tiffany's like, oh, I have a Nickelodeon audition for you. First of all, this was the second instance. The first instance was with the girl.
Yeah.
And Tiffany made her do some weird stuff.
With Aries in the room.
What? And then the next instance was the one with the skit with Aries. Where they had the boy doing weird stuff, and the girl was not there, but she was around, and she had a feeling, and her brother came to her crying. So she knew, oh, you also just experienced some trauma too.
And then all the other stuff that's come out afterwards has been awful. There's apparently Tiffany hosted this the things that kids say or something, TV show on ABC.
Yeah. Funniest things or whatever. Yeah. Kids say the darndest
things. Kids say the darndest things.
Which was also ironically hosted by
Bill Cosby.
Yeah. Connection. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess that show got to end. It was iconic, but it just something about...
And the thing is, I used to love that show when I was a kid. I used to think it was so pure.
Yes.
But then there was there was one sketch that they did that apparently kids were interviewing Tiffany's future boyfriends or ex-boyfriends, and you're just why are kids asking somebody who's an adult questions about real? I'm like, that's weird. And then there was this thing that she did, some joke that she made during I think it was an ESPN award show where she's singing about how older women will come up to little boys and be like, oh my god, your son's so funny, he gonna be so cute, he gonna be pulling all the girls, and people are just oh hell no, we should have known about her. But it's just personally speaking, I was never a fan of Tiffany. I kind of always thought she was kind of annoying. I think she was a lot. Her and Kevin Hart for me fall in the same pool. I was I don't find them funny.
Comedic actors.
Very much.
I enjoyed Tiffany Haddish. That's why I was so disappointed. And look, I put his name Ariel Spears. I even forgot this man's name. And we talked about him last week.
Literally less than 7 days ago, we talked about this man. He's forgettable.
Yeah, and I still got his name wrong. Honestly, because he doesn't deserve Aries.
That's what I was going to say.
He doesn't deserve it. And why is it that the only time you're ever relevant now is because you're in some BS? I don't know if his whole thing talking about Lizzo was to try to deflect from this lawsuit coming up?
I don't think it was
or
that.
what?
I don't think so.
I think it was just him running his mouth. And then somebody was like, "Oh, Aries Spears. Oh yeah, I'm writing this whole article. Let's just release it now."
Oh yeah, and when you get the girls mad on social media, they will dig.
They start dropping shit.
Dig.
They start dropping everything.
You got a whole
who was? Yep, that's him.
Like, if I have a whole sexual case against a child, I'm keeping my mouth shut. I don't need to talk about anything ever in life again. Actually,
the thing is, I think also. The video was on his website, his personal website.
Was it really?
Yes, because
like his personal, like his own,
like it was reel? Branded like ariesspears.com.
Because he really thought he ate with this, which is crazy.
And I don't understand how you can, make a sketch of something so sick and traumatic, and then at the end be like, "Be careful who you leave your kids with." It's like This was not this.
It was literally. It was literally life imitating art, because wasn't Tiffany also the close friend of the family member?
Mm-hmm. Be careful who you leave your kids around with. So you guys who are in this video making this video, but you don't see that, and you submit it to a site for comedy sketches. And so for you to even think about what is wrong with you, for you to think about this sketch, for you to act it out, for you to see these kids clearly uncomfortable, for you to go ahead, edit it. Because to edit a video, a sketch like this, you have to be sitting with it for a minimum of an hour. And then you go submit it. And at no point in time did you think, this is sick.
Right. And also it begs the question is, what does the raw footage look like? Because I don't even, it's
terrible to think about. And it makes me really
and there's really never going to be any justice for those kids because even if you go to court, they will always live with
the trauma is still there. The trauma never goes away. You have to take years of therapy and just healing for those children, but it's never going to go away, and I just feel for them so much.
And I think there's always this debate online about when does comedy go too far. This is a prime example.
Very clear,
because people always want to defend comedy because
it's supposed to
it's the line. No, comedy can be comedy without being hurtful.
Whew.
Comedy can be comedy without being hurtful and without having to throw other people under the bus or have to
invoking trauma.
Exactly. Like, there's no need for any of that. You can, and if you can't find anything funny, then you're clearly not a comedian.
And you can't, and anything to do with children,
stay away.
It will never be funny. It will just never be what?
It comes off as creepy,
and you have now traumatized a child for the expense of
what?
This wag sketch.
Because Aries Spears nobody is still, even needs to see. Aries, he did all this, and he's still an unknown person to me. I'm sorry.
I mean, now you're infamous. You're not famous. You're infamous because now your reputation is contingent on all the negative things that you have done within the course of 2 weeks. We've known a lot about you.
In the worst way.
And so I mean, everything that happens in the dark comes to light. So I really hope that, I don't know if there's anything to be learned from this, because I think this is more of a character.
I think comedians need to take a sensitivity class training, something.
But I don't think this is sensitivity. I think this person does not perceive the world in the way that the common majority may perceive the world, especially in regards to children. They don't understand how sick they are. But also, I would not be surprised if we come to find out that there's more. That this goes deeper.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's definitely more.
I don't think this is the beginning. Ain't no way you just start like that.
This is only the tip of the iceberg.
But speaking of terrible comedians, I mean, he's not a terrible comedian, but just does dumb stuff. Chris Rock is talking.
Is it still about the slap?
It's still about the slap, and comparing it.
We're playing the world's smallest violin for him right now.
Like, comparing it to Anna Nicole Smith getting murdered. Like,
excuse me?
He said, why would I host the Oscars again?
It's like Anna Smith going back to the restaurant or something.
To the cafe where she last was before she got killed. No, 1,000 times no. That's not the same thing whatsoever. Nobody got murdered. she didn't get murdered at the cafe. You got slapped at the Oscars. It's just like logically also just not the same thing. Like, why are
false
you
equivalence?
Yes.
Men tend to do that a lot.
I think honestly, I think it's just his ego got hurt, and he's trying to like be like, guys, it's not an issue. I'm good. Like, nigga, you got a big slap in front of the entire industry.
No, he's not saying I'm good. He's trying to make it seem like I'm such a victim. For you to compare your slap to a woman getting murdered, who do you think you are? And stop talking about women, period, because that's what got you into this mess in the first place.
And then he had the nerve to say, well, that was the most harmless joke I've ever said about Jada.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some history between these two people. I mean, not even these two people. Between the three of them. And then because it played out the way it did for Will Smith and all the backlash that he's received, Chris Rock is
I was like, girl,
Chris Rock is eating
riding.
Yes.
And also, like, I've read that he's declining to do interviews, with talk shows because he doesn't want to talk about it.
So why the fuck are you making jokes about it?
He only wants to talk about it at his show.
That part.
That's that way he can get that point. You will hear him talk about it.
Not him trying to control the narrative. Okay, his PR company's working.
No, he is definitely because he knows people have that. That curiosity. Like, I want to go see Chris Rock. Oh my God, I wonder if he's going to talk about it because he's not talking about it publicly. And then at his shows, I'm sure he's probably like, no video cameras, so he can keep talking about it and keep talking about it at the next show and the next show and the next show and talk about it some more.
If you're going to see Chris Rock to hear him talk about it, fucking slap. It's like, girl.
But that's what he gets. He should have kept his mouth shut because what a dumb statement to make. Just no sense.
Yeah, he also made a statement that now we get to see Will Smith has finally taken off his mask, basically saying that this is Will Smith's true character, and you guys are finally seeing it, and hopefully we'll see more of his true character moving forward. And I'm just like, honey, you can't take one moment and say that this is his true character because his 20 years or whatever in the limelight has been good. He's been like we love Will Smith. He's
it's giving jealousy a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I think they probably did go I'm pretty sure the creators of Fresh Prince probably looked at Chris Rock when he was starting out as a comedian and was like, oh, he could be.
I feel like at some point there was probably like
Will died because apparently he knew somebody and he was at the right party with the right people at the right time, and Chris just lost out. Chris has been salty ever since.
Power.
That's exactly what it's doing.
I feel like early 2000s time, like people would probably compare them. But clearly Will Smith is the more relevant one, the more well-paid one. I mean, he was like the highest paid actor at some point. Like, I'm sure Chris Rock never got that.
And I'm sure it's probably because he was like, this dude got hired because he's a rapper. Because let's not forget,
Will Smith was the rapper.
He was a rapper. He's like, he got an acting job because he was a rapper.
I mean, it was because of his personality, though, that they even wanted to make this show with him because he met why am I forgetting his name?
I know who you're talking about. Is it Quincy Jones?
Yeah, was it Quincy Jones? Yeah,
and then they're like, everything.
Yeah, he's like, yo, this
That's
dude.
Another person who needs to stop talking. That man been telling too much tea about everybody.
Oh, has he? I haven't.
That man is yappa. Shanice, shut it.
Not Shanice.
But Will Smith just had that character, that personality.
Yeah, that personality. Yes. And that's something that you just can't fake.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I still don't feel like the punishment, if you will, fit the crime.
He got banned from the Oscars? For how long?
For a decade.
10 years.
Girl, that man.
Honey, that's like being deported, child. He come back to America for 10 years.
Yeah, literally. Oh my God.
But let's be honest, though. Is he really losing out on going to the Oscars?
I don't know.
I mean, can he still... Are they banning him just from the show? Are they banning him from any Oscar-related Academy?
I think it indirectly impacts his ability to
be.
Because if you're a director, you may not want him to, star in your movie because you know that this is not going to be an Oscar.
And
and he can't go.
And the same people who make the decision to ban him are some of the same people who are voting on it too. Like, they have, because Oscars, it's not your regular person voting.
I would love to be an Oscar voter because The movies they be making, I'd be like, no.
But why do you think, certain movies always win and certain movies never even get nominated?
Well,
you know what? I can't wait till the day. Well, I don't know if I can't wait. Maybe I'll take this back. But when artificial intelligence is behind all the voting for all of these award shows, where there would be no human bias, but it would just be an artificial intelligence, like a machine learning of what has been the most digested, what has been the most consumed.
And it's not, and you just see it's literally going to be Oscar so racist all over again. White. Across every category.
I had to write a paper on AI being racist. I wrote a paper on that because it's like, if all the media speaks of people in a certain light, if all the information that we're getting about a group of people is always geared towards this end. And if you even Google the image beauty, what is beautiful woman?
It's a white woman.
What will be in the first 100 pages?
It depends. Are you signed into your Google?
You have to say beautiful black woman. You have to literally explicitly ask.
Pinterest is, I cannot be like, you gotta be having to type, be like, oh,
honey, black girl.
Black hairstyle.
Yes.
You gotta
natural. 4C, no 4C, no dark. What do I gotta say?
Exactly, because the default is always gonna be.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about something positive. Like Black entertainment.
Oh.
Honk for Jesus premiered this weekend. Have y'all watched?
I did see it.
You did?
This weekend was National Cinema Day, and the tickets were only $3
at AMC.
Yes,
they were.
Girl, I never go to AMC.
I don't even know what Honk for Jesus is.
It's a movie with Sterling K. Brown and Regina Hall about a disgraced Baptist pastor in Atlanta, who was a pastor of a mega church, and it's a mockumentary style, but it's also a movie at the same time.
Okay.
Following their story of to come back and try to get the congregation back.
And I think they play a lot on the whole typical Black pastor, Southern Black pastor
trope.
Yeah.
Yo, am I the only? Are you gonna see it?
No, probably not.
It's on Peacock. You don't even gotta get out your house. Do you have a Peacock subscription?
Okay, do you know how many movies I haven't seen? This is
never mind.
It's not Esther's forte.
She's not gonna see it.
Yeah.
But no, did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I watched. You know what I watched on National Movie Day?
What?
Beast.
Oh my god. Okay, so funny because we were gonna see that, but I'll talk about Honk for Jesus though.
No spoilers though.
Regina Hall's performance, incredible.
Oh, always.
The way this woman. There's this allegory towards the ending climax of the movie.
Okay, you said no spoilers.
It's so no. I said I'm not giving any spoilers.
Okay.
I'm just saying there's an allegory at the end that she just does beautifully, and this is where I knew that the performance was award worthy level. We'll talk about it once you see it, but it was so beautifully done, and I believe it was actually directed by 2 Nigerian American women.
Oh, nice.
I was
I might watch it.
Snaps. And it was executive produced by Jordan Peele and Daniel Kaluuya.
Mm-hmm.
So I might definitely watch it.
Okay, see?
Okay. You see, now we gotta see. I've never seen the trailer. I have no reference point other than church.
Mm.
You're I've had enough church.
It's not the first thing I'm gonna jump to.
Well, it's a mockumentary style documentary, but it's also comedy at the same time. It's very beautifully done, and then the way they transition from the mockumentary cameras to the actual real life now filming of it's so beautiful. I loved it.
I'm excited.
8 out of 10, honestly.
Oh, you're making me, because I wanted to watch the movie immediately, but hearing you say that makes me okay. And it won't just be me watching it to support. I might actually enjoy.
I'm very much NYC film student critic level when I watch shit.
You really do.
I deep dive into everything. So the fact that I'm giving this such great, it was good. So go watch it if you haven't seen it. What do you think of Beast?
It was good. It was a very predator versus humans type movie, and it had an all dark-skinned Black family. So that's all I really was there for. I didn't care about what it was about.
Is Idris Elba still talking to his daughter or no?
I think his daughter has forgiven him because his daughter auditioned for it
to play his actual daughter.
And he said the chemistry or something. She didn't get it. So she didn't talk to him for 3 weeks.
Nepotism doesn't always work.
I mean, honey. But also She-Hulk is out, and Megan Thee Stallion's on one of the episodes as the lawyer.
I loved her.
Yes.
Megan isn't a lawyer, isn't it? She plays a.
I thought she was a lawyer.
No.
What is she?
She-Hulk
is the lawyer, and she has.
No.
Megan is reaching out to her.
No.
Oh, I just saw Megan's working.
And so the story, it's one of the episodes. The storyline goes, there's like this elf from Asgard who's like a shapeshifter. Wow.
I hope you're not giving spoilers.
And she shapeshift into Megan Thee Stallion and scam this dude out of like hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so the dude is taking her to court. And so She-Hulk comes in and like helps out or whatever. And then it was like an end credit scene. And if you haven't seen it now, it's been all over Twitter. But like Meg signs to be She-Hulk's like client as a lawyer at her law firm. And they celebrate by twerking in her office. Hey. And all the Marvel dudes were just like, oh, well,
like, what happened to the end credits meaning something?
I was like,
I thought we were going to get story progression in the credits and there was going to be a hidden message. Can y'all have fun?
The girls just have fun?
Like, can there just be enjoyment? Like,
not when you're a woman.
And then other people with their think pieces. I just feel like Megan has a lot more substance to her than twerking. And I just wish that they brought her on for something. It's Megan Thee Stallion.
She don't shake ass anytime.
Like, can we celebrate that she's on this
brand
platform?
Adherence? Megan Thee Stallion does not. She doesn't deviate from her brand.
No, I don't understand. If y'all was thinking she was gonna come on there and be a super villain, no, the woman is coming to shake nyash and nothing else. Please, no, she knows her audience. She knows what they're there for. Every time the woman's gonna come shake ass.
She's mastered her craft.
But that is actually smart about her whole brand. I never even thought about that. That
is her brand. You can't outdo her in that arena.
Absolutely.
Who else?
Yes.
Exactly. But in more Marvel news, Laverne Cox got casted. I don't know what her character is, but she's gonna be in the new Ironheart series, which follows Riri, who now takes the mantle of Iron Man, or like in the same vein, and like does the whole tech thing. But it's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna be a show, I think, on Netflix or Disney Plus. It's a Marvel show. I'm very excited for it. Sorry, it was because she's the first like trans actress to get like a main character in the Marvel MCU. So it's like huge,
legendary.
So we love first, even though
it shouldn't be a first.
It shouldn't be a first, but it is. But we're excited. First trans Black woman to be casted in like a major role. I was like, well, okay, girl.
Come on, Laverne.
And plus, Ironheart is like a huge thing. It's like following like the whole Iron Man Tony Stark. It's like awesome for her. But we love that for her.
Yeah, those are big shoes.
She was the one that was mistaken for Beyonce, huh?
Yeah, she had her mask on. Wasn't this at the U.S. Open?
Yeah, it was.
They're like, oh my
there
God,
was a lot of mistakes happening at the U.S. Open, child.
They're like, oh my God, Beyonce's here. Bitch, it's Laverne Cox.
Okay, relax.
But I think that's happened to her like more than once.
I bet.
And I'm like, okay, that I wouldn't mind. Shit.
All right,
take me for Beyonce. Shoot.
And Jennifer Hudson's new talk show's coming up.
Oh, she's having a talk show.
Yeah, she's getting a whole talk show on, I think it's Fox or NBC. But it's kind of funny because I'm pretty sure they're filming on the same lot as Ellen, or what used to be Ellen's studio lot and everything.
Oh,
because Ellen got canceled.
Yeah,
love a Black woman.
Well, did she get canceled? Period.
Okay.
But now there's gonna be 2 American Idol talk show hosts. Kelly Clarkson has hers now. Jennifer Hudson. I hope they do a crossover.
American Idol to talk show pipeline. Wow.
Honey.
Even though she didn't even win.
Wasn't it like the anniversary of? Isn't it the 20-year anniversary of Kelly Clarkson winning?
Yeah, winning the I was like, oh yeah. I saw it on my timeline. I was like, damn, it's been that long.
Yeah, I was like, who's this little young little girl on my?
They were like,
this is Kelly Clarkson. Oh my gosh, she looks so young. I didn't realize.
Crazy.
Like,
I remember. So then somebody said this was the most democratic the U.S. has ever been voting for American Idol.
Oh my god,
which is facts.
No, that's true.
Because it's like for a whole country to vote for her. Period.
Yeah,
that girl. Back to Jennifer Hudson. I just saw the clip of her. I don't know what she was performing. She was performing on American Idol or something, and she just sang in Simon's face after he basically told her.
That was Amber Riley, baby.
Oh, was she on American
Idol? No.
Oh,
Amber Riley auditioned. Amber Riley, who was on Glee, auditioned to be on American Idol before she got on Glee.
So Simon Cowell was on American Idol and X Factor?
Yes. But Amber Riley, when she auditioned for American Idol, Simon said no to her. So when the cast of Glee got invited to sing on X Factor, she was like, she belted in his face, like, and now look at me now.
Period. So like, bitch, look at me.
No, as well deserved. Simon Cowell passed on a lot of incredible people. Like, I still don't get, how did Fantasia not win?
She didn't win.
I don't think she won.
I don't know. I'm not an American Idol expert, but I mean,
and I don't think Jennifer Hudson won either.
I don't think she did. But you can have one hell of a career without ever winning.
I love how all the American Idol girls said, I may not have won, but I'm milking this shit.
I'm winning in life, period.
Now she's like the youngest Black female EGOT winner, Jennifer Hudson.
Oh, yeah.
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
Period.
I was like, girl is collecting. Now she got a talk show. Shout out
to her.
That's
dope.
I will be tuning in first episode. It's always the first episode you want to see what it's going to give.
I feel like the first episode is not a good marker of discernment because there's just like so many kinks. Like even me, like being on here, I'm just like, oh my god.
I'm gonna give y'all 15 episodes to get it together.
Yeah,
and another guest.
It's gonna give me some time to acclimate. So I think it's gonna give her some time to acclimate into her new role. Like we gotta give her grace the first couple episodes. Then she'll be in her bag. I feel like the first one is like, you're nervous. It's something new.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what I mean? Even though she's a star and she's used to being, on camera and all that, being on a talk show,
I think is very different.
I think it would be very different.
Even this, I think, is like a good indicator of like
it's different.
I was like, I thought I could do like we talk shit all day, every day in private, but then when there's cameras and you gotta like, oh shit, I gotta actually.
Yeah, there's a certain level of performance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe episode 5 or 6, we'll see. Actually, you know what? Episode 15, I'll tune in and see if Jennifer's still.
I'm gonna try to tune in regularly, just like just here and there, just to see. I mean, I'm guessing she's gonna have
guests on. It's gonna be very musical.
Some good guests. Yeah. So
I hope she sings a lot in this. I love it. I love the way she just yells every time she sings.
She does.
She loves
it.
She does. Her voice carries.
Her voice carries.
But shout out to her. Wow.
Yes. Shout out to Jennifer Hudson and all the Black women who are setting stage on these major networks.
Inspirations. Okay, so we're gonna change things up a little bit since we have a special guest, and our next segment will be just focused on you.
We got some questions,
honey.
No, we're not talking. Let's just talk some shit. It's really the best,
Yeah,
especially when you're around.
Really,
conversation just flow very easily.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you have good rapport with people, it's just like
it's easy. Yeah. So yeah, we just wanted to talk about parenting, and not even you as a parent, but you being. I mean, you've been a parent for 30 years before you even had a child.
That's a fact.
And then dealing with your parents, you've kind of parented your parents.
I think everyone has to.
Yeah. And I feel like you have an interesting perspective because, I mean, I'm not the last born, but I'm the last born. So it's different. And Brian.
Girl.
Firstborn.
I feel your firstborn trauma. that third parent trauma is very much real.
Yes.
I feel you there. But
what do you guys want to know?
Since Wangechi over here touched on it a little bit. You said parenting your parents. How do you develop that adult relationship with your parents and set those boundaries? Where you're just like, I'm an adult now. Can't be talking to me like you used to. Can't be saying, certain things to me because, listen, you can't be catching attitude. Because I feel like that's such a fine line to walk when you, like, now start and have your own life and, like, leave your parents, like, you little nest.
Right.
It's like, how do you get to that point where you're like, we're adults now. We're not talking as another child. We're talking as adults. You may be still my mother and I'm still your child, but we may not be age mates, but we're adults.
Right. That's so interesting because there's so many ways to go about this and everyone goes about it so differently. And I will say that my advice may not be the best advice for you. You know your parents. So
I think any advice is welcome.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say personally, I never had it was never a thing where I actually expressed verbally my boundaries. I don't think I do a good job of communicating my boundaries, but I articulate my boundaries through my actions. So I don't think there was ever a conversation, but there have been moments where my parents felt the shift, where it's like, oh, you speak to me in a certain way, I'm not receptive. This is not going to work because now I have autonomy. Mm-hmm. I don't have to continue this conversation. I don't have to,
be in the space.
Yeah, or negotiate with you what I want from this conversation.
Right.
So I think mine was more of a hard transition versus like a soft guided transition for parents. Like, oh, mom, I'm growing up. I'm this and that. Like it wasn't delicate, I will say. Mm-hmm. It was very much like, this is where I'm at, and it's like a hard stop.
Oh shit! So it was more like the cold turkey kind of like,
yeah,
throw you in the deep end, see if you sink or swim.
Yes, and I think for some parents, it's effective, but it's not necessarily the best way to go about it. Like I said, it's effective. It may work, but I also understand that all actions have consequences. And I think, our parents always tell us that all actions have consequences. And now I'm reciprocating that energy. All actions have consequences.
You're this way too.
Oh, yes. Come on. Because then they're like, oh shit, you were listening all these years.
Right. So I think also another thing I learned about boundaries, it's not about them. It's all about you, right? So I'm not going to continue. If somebody is crossing your boundaries time and time again, and you keep telling them they're crossing your boundaries and nothing is changing, the onus is on you to shift how you're engaging. It's not on them. You can't control another person. Like, I think most people get frustrated because they want to control, or they want to tell their parents, this is how you should move when it comes to me, and I would get frustrated because it's like, how do you not see that this is not working? Or how do you not see this is not going to be an optimal environment for us to have this dialogue? Have this dialogue or have this type of relationship or dynamic. But I think the onus is always going to be on you. So what are you going to shift? Always ask yourself, what are you responsible for shifting? If you say, hey, you don't respect XYZ, I have to show you what that looks like. I have to execute. Boundaries is about execution. It's not about just saying something. It's about what are you doing? What is the action behind your boundaries? So if I say that this is a firm boundary, I'm not going to answer your calls. If I said then I'm going to follow through on that.
That's true. I think that's what I'm struggling with right now is verbally now. Because I'm stuck with them. I'm financially reliant on them to an extent. So now it's like...
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't have the autonomy I would have if I wasn't living with them, or like I used to have when I wasn't staying with them. And now when they're working my nerves and they're crossing my boundaries.
You better do a deep...
Look, and then we have that conversation, but it's like at that point... It's already out of hand. Like, now we're butting heads, and now I'm trying to tell you about my boundaries now that because you've crossed them 1,000,001 times. And now it's like
too far gone.
I want to take some lessons out of your book and just be like, girl, you won't even get the opportunity to cross this boundary again. Like, there are no conversations.
That's the caveat is when you are dependent or reliant on your parents, it's really hard.
Yes.
It's really difficult. When you're living under the same roof, it's really difficult because to me, when I was struggling to kind of, delineate my boundaries with them, it was really hard because there was no room to really go. Like, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it?
And what about it?
Like your parents were like, so what are you going to do? So I think until your parents understand, number one, your absence and the value you have, because parents don't feel your value till you're absent.
Yes.
When you can't pick up their child,
look,
when you're not the one they go to, be like, oh, I need you to run the grocery store.
Right, you're not ready at a moment's notice.
I need you to take me somewhere. Let's go. I have plans. Sorry.
I think also because and distance from your parents, especially as adults, it really helps the relationship sometimes, because when you're under the same roof, it's really hard to see outside of that dynamic that's been set in place. And like, when, let's say, for example, we're speaking about mental health, because parents do a number on our mental health.
Maybe.
Talk about especially
it. That's another podcast
parents,
episode.
You know
back on. Talk about
yes, because she knows this. She's a Miss Psychology major. She went to school for this.
No, but I mean, it's not even a psychology aside. Just like from my experience with my own parents, and just like you have experience with your own parents, no one can tell you how to navigate your parents because only you have the 20 plus years experience. You know, and you know who you've perceived them to be at this through these years. And you know, one thing is sometimes what you perceive is not necessarily true, but we have to navigate our relationship with our parents in a way like, I don't know, I've learned to give them grace, but I don't let them get away with things.
Ooh.
You know, but I think
run that back. That's a word right there. One more time. Run that back. Say it again.
Look,
I've learned to give them grace, but I've not allowed them to get away with everything.
No, okay, church. I know y'all heard that.
Let the church say amen.
Come on.
Hey.
No, because there are some things I feel like you said, you know, there's
you gotta hold them accountable.
Yeah, but especially when you're independent, like you allow them to cross certain boundaries to where, like you said, there's a point where it gets to a head.
Yes,
it does. And I think when it gets to a head, it just amplifies what was already like there, like deep rooted, and it all comes out at once.
Because at this point now, you're arguing about the surface level, whatever this issue is, but it's a lot deeper than that.
Yeah, unless y'all start
taking on that, like taking that on, you're gonna continue having these surface level issues.
Oh, 100%. I think when you're in a position, like if you are with your parents, if you're actively with your, you know, obviously under the same household, under the same roof, you have to tread lightly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to tread lightly because
you ain't trying to be homeless.
Girl, in this motherfucking economy?
Yeah, and this inflation?
Hey. We also like being African as another layer. It's another layer because expressing yourself means disrespecting them.
Oh, that's another word. Come on. Church, go ahead. Note number 2. Listen. No, this is note number 2.
I hope y'all have your pen and paper today.
This is note number 2. No, come on. Say that again for him.
No, expressing yourself doesn't mean disrespecting them.
And this was for the African parents.
This is the segment I'm saying. We're sending. We will keep this clean so you can send from this point to the end of this episode to your parents.
Listen.
Yeah, it's real. When I think it's our culture that usually it's the person who's the most quiet, that's who they want you to imitate.
Yes.
The one that doesn't say anything.
The one that be talking back. The one that, you know.
Yes, she just eats it.
Okay.
You eat it and you eat it and you eat it over time.
But then that child is the one.
That was me.
As soon as they're distance from their parents, they're never talking to them again.
Look,
can we talk about that? Because a lot of times it's a lot of firstborns. A lot of firstborns who have to be the third parent, but have to like take on all that stuff and like try to keep the peace between them and their young. Because then these younger siblings, they be talking any kind of way. They got that time and the energy. Be like, "And what he gonna do? Kick me out? I dare him."
Like, because you ain't kick him out, so I know you're not much me.
And so you have to be. And so you have those like I've had instances where I've just been like, okay, let me just keep the peace. Because let me make sure I'm good and keep the peace in this, so that it's not like
that's very true.
Is a whole other level of trauma.
It is.
Because then it becomes to where like I've started noticing is like I don't do confrontation.
I'm not.
It's not me. And I'll just be like, okay, are you done? Have you let it all out?
Yes.
Okay? All right, I'm gonna go now.
Yes.
And then literally 5 months down the line, and that other thing that you did, like everything, just all that backed up shit, word vomit, just out.
Because it's internalized so deep, and then you can only handle so much, and then
press it down.
And then at some point, it's gonna come out, and it's gonna come out in the ugliest of ways.
Oh.
Yes.
But that's so true about not being able to be confrontational, not knowing how to handle conflict.
Yeah.
And intimate relationships.
Ooh.
You know what I've realized? Because when my little brothers, JC and Elson, I love them dearly, but they be getting on my nerves.
Now we name dropping their
Yeah, she said you need their socials.
Look,
government names included.
My little brothers, I love them, but when they do something wrong and I tell them about it, they're not over here like, oh, I'm sorry, this is what happened. Like, let me tell you my side of the story. They're there like,
yeah.
Like one point, I'm like, yo, talk to me. What happened? Like, why did we get to this point? And they're just there like, they just are like, I'm just gonna take this and be quiet. And I realize this because it's what we're taught to do. Yes.
And you know what? I realized my sister is breaking that generational trauma.
Wow, shout out.
Is she?
Oh, absolutely.
Is she gonna speak up?
Oh, this girl
is
what she said. You're not gonna listen.
You're not gonna talk to me like that.
I'm not the 1, 2, or the 3. Nor am I gonna be the one that's gonna sit there and be like, yes, and I'm not gonna be that good little silent child. Like children are meant to be seen. No, that's not me.
Yes.
What's gonna happen is I have my own voice.
Yes.
I have my own feelings, and what you did hurt me in this exact way. And she'll be like, you're not respecting me. So in turn, you don't deserve my respect. And I'm just
I love that.
And I just be like, oh, I wish.
Oh my God.
I was like, who is this grown ass woman trying to teach me how to be an adult with my parents?
You know what?
I
sent something to Wangechi because I feel like she's the same way with my parents. Like when she talks to me about how she's navigating my parents, I'm like, I could never. Like, where did she learn this? Like, how did she learn this? And I sent her a tweet. Was it yesterday? I was like, it was something about the oldest child is usually like your ancestor. Like she's actually the oldest soul. So she's here to teach you how to new ways of how to like navigate.
It was like the youngest child is the oldest ancestor.
Yeah, she has the oldest soul.
Yeah,
because she's there to like teach us.
And I'm picking up on her.
Honey, and I listen to your ancestors.
And I'm Logan starting to be like, you know what? No, you're right. Mom and Dad did fuck up in this instance. You're right. I'm on your side. Fuck up. And I've been slowly like reclaiming my time.
Okay. Yes.
And taking into turn is like me setting a boundary is not me disrespecting.
Yes.
And for the longest time, when she would in turn set a boundary with my parents, I'd be very much like, why are you being so mean? Like, why are you being rude to that mom and dad?
That. Yep.
And she'd be like, I'm not being rude. I'm just saying they're not going to treat me this way because I'm, XYZ.
Yes.
I'm still my own person.
Absolutely.
I'm like,
I know a little bit.
I could never. Because we could never, like, because of the way we were conditioned and programmed, like, we were so deeply conditioned that there's no way for us to even think of us approaching that conversation that way. Like, I can't even think of approaching certain conversations with my parents the way my sister does. Like, she literally sits them down, and sometimes she talks to them. I'm like, you're the child.
Same shit. She be sitting there like, listen, this is how I've been in a conversation where she's been like, I was hurt because you did this.
That's
and in turn, I don't want this to continue.
That is
so beautiful. I'm gonna voice my opinion and voice my hurt and my feelings so that you know.
And it'd be
I'd be sitting there like, wow.
It'd be admirable, but then
what else? So how you gonna put that in? Okay, and she gonna react. Okay, I'm just taking. I'm like,
honey, I take notes.
Like,
so we really need a TED Talk from the youngest. The youngest are always the best. Even my husband is the youngest, and how he talks to his parents is so different from his other siblings. It's like so casual. He'll talk to them and he'll tell them, hey, I didn't like how you did this. Why are you not answering my phone? Why you did? And I'm like, I can never speak to my parents that way.
Never.
Yeah, no, because I think also as the firstborns, your parents have already gone through a certain level of like mistakes, and they'd start to admit that they like, oh, maybe we messed up this way with that one. So when the younger one is coming to them like, hey, like this is what you're doing and this is how you should fix it, or this is how it's making me feel, they can be a little more receptive. Now, this is not for all parents.
That's true.
This is not for all parents.
No.
Because there will be
results may vary.
You set your own discretion.
Exactly. So it's like you can have a parent who will like own up to it. Listen, the first time I heard my father apologize to me.
You've heard him
You got an apology from your dad?
I didn't even ask for it. I was just like, why are y'all doing this? I'm done. I can't do this. And I left. Like, I tried to have a conversation with them, and then it was going nowhere, and I left.
I am shocked.
Honey, we need a TED Talk for real.
And the next day, I'm talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm really sorry about this. Like, I didn't realize it was hurting you so much." I was like,
I could never.
I didn't know what to do. I was like, "I'm sorry for making you apologize." Like, I didn't know what to say. Like,
I would feel guilty.
Yes, literally.
Honestly, in my head, I would exude guilt, but inside, I'd be like, "Yeah." And another thing.
While we at it.
Wow, yeah, you better apologize.
That's the Aries energy.
I'm like, no, because
period.
But the irony is that the parent you may get that much growth from isn't always the one you need it the most from. Like, it'll be that parent that you're like, an apology or anything from you would mean the most to me, and you will never get it from that parent. Or the other one where you're like, you're not even like traumatizing me as much, will be the one learning and growing.
So let me ask you this. With that said, like, are there instances where you have to kind of be like, I'm never gonna get it as a firstborn? I was like, I'm never gonna, and I have to be okay with, and I forgive. Do you forgive?
Yes, you have to. You have to forgive. Not for them. It has nothing to do with them. It never had anything to do with them. They inflicted the trauma, yes.
Yes, they inflict all.
They are the perpetrator. Oh. They are the perpetrator. And I think a lot of people, and I talked to, some friends about this, about certain people wanting apologies or wanting acknowledgement.
Yes.
For what they did.
Exactly. Like, at least acknowledge that
you messed up,
and I think that's a huge blind spot for especially
African parents.
Kenyan
parents.
They're never wrong. They never did nothing wrong.
Exactly.
So you're saying I was a bad mom? I was a bad father. That's what you're saying.
Why are you homeless?
One critique.
Did you
not go to college?
Were you not clothed?
Because they want you to only acknowledge the good things that they've done for you, the sacrifices that they've made. So when you highlight the things, their shortcomings, it's automatic defense. It's automatic, like, clinch up. Like, it's war. It's a battle. Like, what do you mean? I'm going to stand my ground. I raised you the best as I can.
Yeah.
And that's all they can, that's all they have the capacity to communicate to you. I think probably internally they regret things that they've done. But just to go back to your point, I think you have to have closure without an apology. You can have closure without an apology. You can forgive.
Hey, for the years of inflictment, can I just
trauma?
I just need one. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for your childhood. I'm sorry for XYZ.
I know it would mean so much. It would mean so much. But I think one thing is you have to understand that it's not about you. That's
what do you mean it's not about me? It's always about me.
That's true. It's like,
I'm an Aries. It's always about me.
They're on their own journey, completely independent from you. And just because you're at this point ready for an apology, they may not be there, and they may never get there. But does that mean now? But you have the autonomy. You have to make the decision. Is this a relationship I can forgive and I can still keep them in my life, or is this something I have to forgive and let go? But the main thing is you do have to forgive.
Y'all heard that?
Forgive and let go is real too, because some people never reach that point in their life where it's like,
and they can continue inflicting trauma. So you have to decide for yourself: is this worth it to maintain a relationship? Do you think that there's value in continuing a relationship with somebody who is continuing to disrespect your boundaries?
Damn.
Or is it better off to just say, hey, I love you and I love myself, so I'm going to forgive you because I'm going to give you grace that you did the best you can in that moment. But moving forward,
I need you to understand.
Yeah, because acknowledgement means we're going to change things. If you want things to change, there's going to have to be some, we have to have levels. Like, you have to accept that this happened, that this is how I felt. And I don't think, I don't know. It's also, we have to keep in mind from an evolutionary perspective, we have to keep going back. Like, who were their parents and how were they parents? So if you think about that, did they ever receive an apology?
Was an apology even one to be asked for? Like,
again, children are meant to be seen, not heard.
Look.
Yeah, so if they never received an apology, you have to look at the familial relationships that came before them and what they think love is and what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. But we're redefining it. I love Gen Z, child. I'd be like, that's the generation I was supposed to be in, because I'm about all the rebellion. Yes. Like, let's shake it up, because the systems that are currently here are not working for any of us.
None.
Like, honey, what? Like, it's none of this makes sense. Like, none of it makes sense. And so in like 10, 20 years, I mean, I'm so glad my daughter will, I don't even know to say I'm so glad, because I don't even know what the future is going to hold. But I'm hoping that it's going to be way better than what we grew up with.
Right.
And the parenting styles that are the norm will shift, you know?
So since you brought up Amara, I want to ask you, is there something, are there things like that you've seen with your parents and like in, you know, setting those boundaries with them, or like see like your childhood that you're just like, I don't want to repeat, or like I want to do this differently with my daughter?
Yes. So many things.
Okay, like,
where to begin?
Where do you start? Like, what's one thing?
Well, okay.
Top 3.
Yeah, so I will say gentle parenting is this concept that I'm slowly easing into. I think I didn't know what type of mother I'd be when I was pregnant, because I was like, I'm probably going to be the hardcore, stern mother, because my husband's so like, he's just like go with the flow. He's so laid back.
I'm
like,
her do whatever she
like
wants.
I'm just thinking he's just going to do, but it's the complete opposite. Like when she came, it was like, I just became this like nurture, like she could do no wrong in my eyes.
That's so cute.
And he's the one who's like, no, we need to give her boundaries. And I'm like, just let her, like, I'm just like,
oh Lord,
just, you know, like let her explore, let her be. And I never expected that as a parent, to be that type of parent, because I just, how I was with my siblings is the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Like the type of third parent I was more like stern and like, I don't know, more firm.
I guess it's different, like
when you have yours. When you have your own. And also now, because I've had this many years of experience, I feel like a maturing father. Like, you know, when
this is your granddaughter,
really, like your granddaughter phase. Literally, that's what it feels like. Like, I want to give her everything. I just want to be gentle with her. So I think this whole concept of gentle parenting is nice, because it gives us a way to kind of like pause an interaction and rethink how we could navigate this current situation. Because I think when you're such a reactive parent, it's like stimulus, trigger, react. Like there's no buffer.
Yes.
Oh.
So like to me, gentle parenting is like having a buffer, being like, this is pissing me off, but how am I gonna reframe this? Do I need to take a step back? What do I need to do to be able to be my best self in this way for this child? Because it's a child. She or he doesn't know any better. And you are the only person
who can teach them like,
the best way. Because you're modeling. And so it's not even just about what you're saying, it's how you're modeling it. And so this kind of ties into my next point, is like also my interactions with my husband, with just my environment, because I realized I picked up a lot of things from my mom based on how she interacted with everything around her, like how she is on a call, like when she's talking to certain people, how she is when she's at a restaurant, like little things.
And it's funny because you'll look at her and be like, why are you doing this? And then here you are 15 years later
doing the same thing.
Look,
modeling the behavior. So just I want to set I don't know. I don't want to say I'm not going to be a perfect parent, but I want to set the best precedent for her to see something positive that she should emulate between, between me and my husband, and also just like our household in general. I want to set a certain tone to our household, to where when she's looking back, because she may not remember the small details, but when she's looking back at the macro scale, it is those micro details that compound. Like I said, everything micro compounds over time.
Because I mean, look at us now.
Traumatized.
It's the little shit. It'd be like, I remember when you did that.
Yes, because you remember moments.
Hell yeah.
That's what you remember the most, is moments. It's not like oh my God, I paid for this I took us out to eat every Sunday. Those are not the things you remember. It's the small moments in between. You know what I mean? So just setting that environment, and also understanding how crucial it is for me to be so present, especially in the first 5 years of life. They say that the first 5 years of a child like really sets the stage. Like that is the most impactful. Like if you want to put as much as you want on your child, those first 5 years mean so much, and you don't think about that. So I think the more we realize that our children are affected by so many things in the subconscious realm moves us. The way we navigate the world is primarily from our subconscious, and that's usually through the things that you're not aware of, things that happen when you were so small. So I think that is going to be something I'm paying attention, I'm present, because I think neglect is also another crime against children. Yes. So so just being present and being intentional, and I always say have gratitude, because I'm so grateful for my daughter. So I think that helps.
And she's cute as hell. I would definitely be grateful if I was her parent.
Yeah.
She is so cute.
Yeah. So just being grateful, because not everyone is going to be a parent. Not everyone is chosen to be a parent. So I'm grateful to be in this role.
That's so cute that you said that. Chosen to be a parent.
Yeah. Yes. So and if you want more of how to be a better individual with Essie Bijoux, check her out.
No, that's a joke.
Because you're the one that needs to talk show,
on top of being just this absolute wisdom extraordinaire, incredible mother, wife. She's just a businesswoman, y'all. And this woman, go ahead, plug your shit, girl, because I'm going to gas you up. Go ahead. No.
Well, I do have a home decor business. I have a website, ESSIEBIJOUX.com.
We're going to link it down below.
Yes. And, I have an eye for things that are tasteful for the home. So if you
that is putting it lightly.
Y'all, I have been to her house.
If you haven't been to her house.
It looks like a West Elm catalog home.
Yes.
The first time I walked in, I said, "Are we in the right house?
Are we in a model home?"
And this one has a toddler, and I said, "There is no ounce of toddler in this house. This is an adult home."
That is so funny.
I was like, so "She has a kid? Where her kid? When you walk in?"
No, it's not even. Do you have a kid? Are there people living here?
No, it was genuinely
too beautiful.
So when I saw you came out with the house, home, and decor and stuff, and I was like, oh, obvious, direct path, of course. Yeah. And y'all, they're just as beautiful as her home.
Oh,
and her soul and everything else about her.
You're so sweet. Y'all are too much. Oh my God.
But we have to, we have to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah, give credit where credit is due. These two.
No, you being humble.
Nah, she's not trying to bask.
You gonna bask in this.
Because the night before we filmed our first podcast episode, we were sitting at your kitchen island, and you were like, y'all, these are the conversations I feel like people need to be hearing.
Yeah.
And the next day we were on the couch, me and you,
struggling,
trying to figure this out. We're like, I don't even know if this is gonna be good, but here we are 15 episodes later. I just feel like
I love that about you guys. I commend you guys for doing that, because I'm notorious for sitting on ideas. And what is beautiful about you two is how quickly you guys execute. Because ideas have expiration dates, and you guys executed, and this is how you're perfecting your craft, is through practice. And I speak for the audience to say we love you guys. We love what you're doing.
Oh,
we love it.
It's gonna be seeing Serena Venus all over here.
I know. We love what you're doing.
Where we are without Esther.
It's not in vain. Even the darkest moments, it's not in vain. I promise.
Well, we appreciate you for even implanting the idea,
and thank you for joining us. I have a feeling this is gonna be a fan favorite episode.
Oh, absolutely.
For me, it definitely.
I'm probably even gonna listen back to this and be like, "What was she saying?"
Right. What about
taking notes? Don't worry, no. We love having you, and we're gonna put all her info, her business down below, her socials.
Yes.
Love her up. Y'all, her TikTok is so cute.
It is.
Y'all gotta follow her. But thank you, Esther.
It was a pleasure. These are icons.
You're an icon.
And like I said, share, comment, leave a comment in the Apple. the Apple store. You know, you can leave a comment on the podcast. Give them 5 stars.
We don't even need to do outro.
Give them 5 stars, please.
Thank y'all for listening and watching. If you've been here this long, I hope this has been the best episode and you've been taking notes and you're gonna go talk to your parents and set some boundaries.
Period.
But we love y'all. Shout out to y'all.
Yes.
We out.
Bye. Bye. I'm doing the BBL outro. The BBL wave.